All right, for number corner today, we're going to be doing a problem string number 7. You need your number corner book out. We're going to open to that workspace towards the back of our number corner book. It'll be page A7. Once you have your book open to page A7, go ahead and write the date down and be ready to write down the problem and a strategy used to solve it. All right, if I look at our first problem, we're going to write down 9/10 minus 1/2. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, I wrote down 9/10 minus 1/2. Now it is your turn to figure out how are you going to solve that. I know that I need to have a common denominator. So am I going to use my clock model to help me find that common denominator, my money model to help me find that common denominator, maybe a double number line? What's going to be the easiest for you? So find a way to rewrite that and come up with your answer to 9/10 minus 1/2. When I think about this, I think money is an easy way to solve it. 9/10 is the same as 90 cents, 9 dimes, right? So 90 cents minus, and then a $0.50 is 50 cents. So 90 hundredths minus 50 hundredths equals what? All right, hopefully you said that, hey, that's 40 hundredths. So over here for my answer, I could write 40 hundredths. I could have also said that it is the same as 4/10, right? Those would be equivalent fractions. Maybe you saw that 9/10 and a half. Well, hey, I know what half is using tenths or using dimes. And maybe you said 9/10 minus 5/10 equals 4/10. Yes, that would also work. All right, let's write down that second problem. What is 7/10 minus 1/4? So I have written down 7/10 minus 1/4. Again, I need to write that with an equivalent fraction using that common denominator. Again, tenths work well with money because a tenth of a dollar is a dime. A fourth of a dollar works well with money. Fourth of a dollar is a quarter. So how could you go about solving this problem? Again, that first step is finding that common denominator, and how much is that out of 100, out of my dollar? 70 hundredths minus 25 hundredths will get me my answer. When I subtracted 70 minus 25, I got 45. So my final answer was 45 hundredths. I also see that 45 could be made using nickels. So I also could have said that an equivalent answer would be 9/20. So that would have been another possible answer I could have added over here on the side. So again, my final answer was 45 hundredths or 9/20. It takes 9 nickels to make 45 cents. It takes 20 nickels to make $1. Okay. All right. Our next problem that we're writing down. What is 1/2 minus 1/20? Again, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to rewrite 1/2 minus 1/20 using equivalent fractions. I can think about this in terms of money again. So how much is 1/2 of a dollar? How much is 1/20 of a dollar? All right, go ahead and solve. When I rewrote my fractions, I had 50 hundredths minus 5 hundredths equals 45 hundredths. Hey, that's the same answer that we got up here, 45 hundredths. So I could write my answer as 45 hundredths or 9/20. All right, so I am moving on to the next one where I am writing 3/5 minus 2/10. Have that here. I'm going to have to rewrite that using a common denominator. I can see that this will work for money. Maybe you see another way that you could rewrite those with a common denominator, and then go ahead and solve. All right, when I rewrote my equation, 3/5 of a dollar, well, a fifth is 20 cents. So if I have 3 groups of 20 cents, I have 60 cents. 2/10 is the same as 20 hundredths, 2 dimes, right? So 60 hundredths minus 20 hundredths. Maybe you also notice that fifths and tenths are pretty closely related. If I rewrite my fifths as a denominator of 10, I have 6/10, right? Because we said that this was 60 cents, and 60 cents is the same as 6 dimes. So when I come up with my answer, I can say that I have 40 hundredths, or I can say that I have 4 tenths. So both of those answers would work. All right, as we move on to our final problem, the equation that you are writing down is, what is 1/2 minus 3/10? Again, rewriting that using a common denominator, maybe that money model, and then solving. All right, as I wrote out my equation, I saw that $0.50 was the same as 50 hundredths. 3/10 of a dollar is the same as 30 hundredths. So 50 cents minus 30 cents could get me my answer of 20 cents or 20 hundredths. I also see that, hey, if I have half, instead of talking about it out of a whole dollar, I could say how much is $0.50 using dimes, right? So hey, I could also write it as 5/10 minus 3/10, right, was what I started with, so that I get my same answer or an equivalent answer of 2/10. So my answer at the end here was 20 hundredths or 2/10. Hopefully you're understanding and seeing how I can use money as a model to help me rewrite that equation when I'm adding or subtracting fractions with a common denominator so that I can solve.